Hey, you all. Rick here. I am in Arkansas City. More specifically, I am standing outside of Paris Park, and more specifically than that, I am at the 49th annual Last Run car show. The car show started in 1976. I was 20 years old in 1976. So, any rate, next year's the big 5-0 for the last run. Um, I'm doing the intro out here uh, because they've already started with the loud music. So I'm doing it out here by my car. I'm getting ready to go in. I will more than likely have to do a muted video, but I think as of right now, unless I change my mind, I am going to do a voiceover on that set of music this time. As of right now, unless I change my mind. Um, it's Saturday morning. It is September the 27th. It is about 8 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and walk around a little bit and just see what happens. So I'm inviting you to come along and join me this morning as we explore and look at all these really wonderful, beautiful, classic cars and trucks and any other vehicles that might be here. But at any rate, yeah, come on along and join me, and we're going to get started. Um, Here just a little bit. All right. Well, I'll be back with you just in a minute.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I've got to apologize for that intro. I was using my new pocket camera. I do not know what caused that to sound like that. I really don't. Hopefully I won't do it again, but I do apologize. It was not good. It kind of straightened itself out later on. But, okay, now let's go on. I'm walking down towards the actual car show. Cali County, the college, has really been doing a lot of building over the years around Paris Park. They've made a new sidewalk off to your far right. That is all brand new. Well, I consider brand new anyway. And they've put in seats that you can sit in every now and then. So they've done that. That's been added. But other than that, it's just the same Paris Park. And like I said, if I said an intro, this is the 49th year. It started in 1976. Next year will be the big 5-0 for the last run car show. It used to be considerably bit bigger. The car show used to wrap all the way around the pool, and then in back of or off the side of the pool, there was an area that cars would park at, and I think there was 2 cars parked over there. So it's not like it used to be. It's still nice though. It's still a nice car show. Yeah, we're just making our way on this really beautiful Saturday morning. I tried to get the years on a lot of these. I did not do all of them just because of if people are sitting in the car or there are too many people around the car, I just couldn't get to it. But I tried to get what I could. So I wouldn't forget, what year it was and all that. But we're getting there. I think the first car is a Mustang. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I think I had to wait for these people to walk around. And of course, that's a Corvette. Now, this is really strange. On the label that they use to, they make the model, the year. And I looked at this. I looked at it pretty good. And this is crazy. But somebody had written on the year as 1959. I'll show you here in just a minute. Now look at this. If I get up there close enough. Well, I thought I got there closer than that. But for the year, they've got 1959, and I looked at it for a while, and I don't know if it was on the wrong car or somebody's joking around or what, but it's definitely not 1959. But anyway, okay. And of course, here's your Super Sport. Bright red. Really nice. They're all real nice. Thought I would have went by that a lot better, but I didn't. Okay, well let's go on. That's a cute little pedal car. Man, I wish I had those when I was a kid. They did not have those. And of course, this is a Challenger, 1973 Challenger. At any rate, let's walk on here. And of course, this is Mustang. I like the wheels on that. I think I try to zoom in on a little bit better. Yeah, 66 Ford Mustang GT. I love that interior. It's really nice. I decided to do the voiceover this time as opposed to the music. I can only do certain kinds of music without it being copyrighted. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll just do a voiceover this time. Oh, here comes a beauty. Look at that. That's an Imperial. Look at that. That is one beautiful car. It's got it for sale. When I went by later on the day and I looked at it, it had serious inquiries only, so I didn't ask because I couldn't get that. I thought about it, but I thought, nah. I know he probably wants probably a great deal of money. I've seen cars like that that's been fully restored. I've seen them, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, anywhere from maybe 30 to on up. There's a lot of time and effort and money goes into restoring those cars. And we have a funny car. Those are so cool. Oh, big old fat tires on that. And of course, it's got the big engine and a little tiny place to sit. And of course, those are all fiberglass bodies. But look at that engine. Oh my goodness. I'd hate to think what one of those cost. That'd be a fortune. Especially now with prices have just skyrocketed. Everything is just so much more expensive than what it was 5 or so years ago. I did get here early. I got here about 7:15, waited till about 8 o'clock. I have to get there early to get a really good parking place, and I usually do if I get there that early, which I really try to. Yep. And over here is the ag building. And of course, they've got the vendors, and there's a gentleman that does the pinstriping, and they have a place where, like a place to have a meal, like breakfast or lunch or just whatever. I did have lunch in here, and I did a video on that. We're going to go in here and look around here. There's a really cool car that I've only seen in a few car shows, and I'll show you in just a minute. Now over here is, I think I show it eventually, but right over here is where I had lunch. That'd be then, I think it was around 11 o'clock or so I had lunch. I had the brisket sandwich, chips, and a drink. It was like $11. That's what I had last year. It was supposed to be baked beans. It was not baked beans. It was pork and beans, or it might have been pork and beans. I don't, but it was pork and beans is what it was. But the sandwich was really good. You know, had some sweetened tea to go with it. Now he's getting ready to do a pinstriping on this truck here, or he is doing the pinstriping on the truck. Here's a really nice coupe. Yeah. Now the other half of this is where they sell T-shirts and just a little bit of everything. I like those fog lights; those are pretty cool. I think, or parking lights, whatever they might be. Yeah. And let me second if I zoomed in good enough. I sure tried to. I don't think I got that one quite good enough. I got to be careful how close I get to these windshields. But at any rate, of course, that steering wheel has been modified, and the seats, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, and of course, it's got just regular Oklahoma plates on it. Yeah. Okay. This is a Corvette, of course. And it says here, hand built by General Motors engineers, late 80s, only one left. Through 8 cubic inch NASCAR block engine, 750 horsepower. Yeah. And the people don't live there in Ark City are driven by somebody that lives in Ark City. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly for racing. It's built for racing. There's a little place where you sit. I've always been fascinated how they have such little places to sit. Of course, they may look bigger than what they really are, but they look pretty small. A lot of these racers. Yeah. Here we go. Another racer. This is built for racing. It's a little rough. I don't know why they don't have a hood on it. Yeah. Of course, this is a Chevy pickup. Looks like it's still a work in progress. Let me see if I can get this one read. Yeah, 1962 C10 Chevy pickup. See, some of them I got close enough to actually read, and some of them I didn't. And then again, some of these, where they've got them placed in the windshield, I couldn't get to it. It was like way down on the dash, or there was something that, reason why I couldn't get close to it. And here we go. This is the vehicle I was telling you about. I didn't want to do any spoilers, but here it is. As soon as I turn around, I think I'm waiting for somebody to leave at this point, and I got the car all to myself. By the time I had lunch, you couldn't got within 50 feet of that car. It was just packed. So I really did a good thing by getting it early that morning and getting it looked at. I think I'll eventually get back to it. I don't know where I'm going. Okay, here we go. This is a Rolls Royce. Isn't that crazy? It's a 1960 Rolls Royce Silver Cloud 2. I go to car shows all the time, and I very rarely see a Rolls Royce. This was a really, 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 really nice car. I didn't want to get too close. The back seat has got uh, a place where you can do paperwork or whatever, and in the back seat, like a little desk that it's got one on both sides of the car, a little table that you can write on or do paperwork or whatever the case may be. But yeah. Yeah. It's been very well taken care of. It really has. Really beautiful car. I tried. I was too scared to get too close, but yeah, I know there's a lot of glare, but you can kind of see those little tables in the back seat area. And I don't even want to think what the insurance and taxes and everything on this might be, being this is Rolls Royce. You just don't see these that often in these car shows. They redid all of this inside a few years ago. That it really they did a good job. It looks really nice in here. I can't remember how long it's been. The years go by so fast. It's been a few years. They completely renovated it on the inside. I like those engines like that. They're so simple, so basic. There's no, computerized stuff on them. Those are nice engines. It used to be these people that were what were often back in the day referred to as shade tree mechanics. They could work on an engine because they were very simple, basic engines. Today, that's simply not the case today. If you've got a car that's even 10 years old, you're going to have a lot of computerized components and that sort of thing. I had a 1969 Coupe de Ville Cadillac one time in the early 80s, and it had a computer on it, in the engine, I mean. That's just crazy. So it's not anything real new, but they are a little more difficult to work on sometimes. That's like, you used to be able to add your own, and you still can, like oil and power steering fluid and all that. But these newer cars, if you want to, on the transmission fluid, you can't do that anymore. That has to be done by a technician. So I know our car's a 2013, and I read the manual and I asked them about it, and they won't even touch it unless they think there's something wrong. They won't even look at it. I know, because I was just wanting to make sure it was okay. And they said, no, it's okay. As long as it's working fine, So I thought, okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you can still add your antifreeze and oil and all that, but it's just newer cars, newer technology, and things of that nature. And they did have a few odds and ends back here, fenders, people trying to sell their goods. We will eventually get out in the cars here in a minute, but I just thought we'd go in here and just look around a little bit. Yep. It seems like to me, too, in years past, this was always a lot more full. This ag building was. And of course, they sell the t-shirts and all that. I don't buy t-shirts all the time. It just depends on how expensive they are. Some of these car shows, they get quite expensive. Well, I think we've about seen everything we can see in this area. Probably go back outside here a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm headed back outside. I think by the time I got done, it was like around 2 o'clock, and the place was packed. I got there early and, got to look around and get everything done. But that's why I get there early, so I get done early. I've seen people come in at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and, oh gosh, I don't have to even find a parking place. I parked literally like a half a block or less from where you get your, you pay your little $3 admission, and but you gotta get there early. That's why I get there around 7 o'clock. Because I can no more than get started. I think I went back at one point to do something I can't remember, and that whole area where I parked, there was just cars lined like blocks down. And that was the very first car, but I got there at 7-ish, like 7:15. I went to Brahms and grabbed a little bit of a breakfast and some coffee. I just ate it there in the car. And there's the automotive parts. Now there's the foot pedals. I had those when I was a kid, and the brake pedals, the foot pedals, the gas pedal. I had the actual foot pedal as a kid. I thought that was so cool. I did little things like that though, just little things I could do. They sell chrome, everything chrome, air cleaners and just whatever, valve covers, just everything that's. If you want a chrome, you can sure buy it. Valve covers, they got a whole ton of valve covers. They had the price of there again. I don't think I really looked at the prices, but anything that's chrome is going to be probably very pricey. I'm not sure what these were. These might have been. I don't know what these crankcase maybe. I don't know. This been chromed. Okay, well, and then of course they had vendors outside too, But I just go to the same place like I just showed you. I usually go that every year and get a combo. The combo meal is really your best bet on that, because if you get anything else, you're going to be paying separate for everything. So I just usually get the combo meal. And I think it was $11 last year too. Here's the funny car again. Yeah. So it filled over there. It wasn't very full yet, but it gets that way. It fills up pretty good. But I'll walk around here towards the end of the video and show you on the back side of the pool. And it used to be just crammed full of cars. There was 2 vehicles over there. 2. Now I've heard some people talking that next year it might be more crowded because it is the 50th anniversary, but time will tell. I guess we'll find out. This car here, I just love this car. I've seen this before. Look at this. It's a Chrysler. Look at the size of this car. It's absolutely beautiful, though. It's got the red interior. It's got the chrome wheels. It is a gorgeous car. Look at that. It's got the old leather-wrapped steering wheel cover. I used to have those. We had to wrap them with a strap. 1962 Chrysler 300 Sport. And so I was able to get that one because I knew there'd be no way I could remember all these cars. But as beautiful as that car is, that's not a gas-friendly at all. No, I've had the gas as a kid. I had the big Lincolns. I had the big Cadillacs. I had all that. as a kid, and as I say kid, probably my 20s. I had a Lincoln. Oh gosh, what was it? I had a Mercury one time, big old boat of a car, and then that was then. I love that Cadillac. That was a two-door hardtop. It was a Coupe de Ville, white with black leather interior, and it had the original hubcaps, and it was just, I love that car. The big, what was it, 375 or 378 V8 engine in it, and I swear you could drive that car like 80, 90 miles an hour. It feels like you'd be going like 70. It was such a big, heavy road car. And this is, yeah, a 1979 Chevy Corvette. Yeah, I did try to get some of these labels. Yeah. And what's really, I think, would be pricey is a lot of people buy an old car and they'll put a Corvette engine in it. Now, you know that's got to be horribly expensive. Like, it could be anything. It could be just some kind of an older model car, and they'll slap a Corvette engine in it. Or I've even seen Cadillac engines put in them. Yeah. Now, that's got at an angle, 1957 Chevy. Yeah. I know to get this gloss paint job, you're looking at least 2 coats. And I've heard people putting on as many as 4 or 5, 6 coats. And then they'll put on a gloss finish over that. But, you got to figure that each coat, I'd hate to think, it could be hundreds of dollars per coat. And cars like this, what's got flames, that's crazy. I don't know. I love it. I think it's really cool. But doing stuff like that, that would not be cheap to have done. I didn't get quite close enough. But it's got the Ford bucket seats in it. Actually, that might be a Lincoln Zephyr. Okay, here's another Camaro. The Lincoln Zephyrs were made from 1939 to 1945. There was only 22,000. I say only because that's a relatively small number for auto production. That first started as a prototype. But there are some of those Lincoln Zephyrs that are more rare than others. The two-door convertible, those are the more rare ones. And there was a Barrett auction where one of those recently, within the last several years, went for $44,500. That's on that Lincoln's. I looked it up. That's how I know all this. I don't know. It was called a Lincoln Zephyr. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Made by Ford. That's kind of like the Tucker Torpedo. Due to a very unfortunate set of circumstances, there were not very many of those made. And they're very, very, I think I've only known of 5 in the country. No, I think those are all in museums. But it's kind of a long story. I won't go into it now, but you can look it up. The history about the Tucker Torpedo. The car was way ahead of its time. It had the collapsible front windshield. It had the third headlight. It was just way ahead of its time. I've got a scale model of the Tucker Torpedo. That was the man's name. His last name was Tucker. His dad was president of General Motors, and then his son, Tucker, can't remember his first name, he became president of General Motors. Well, then he wanted to branch out to make his own car, which he did. He did, but unfortunately, it was just bad. They made a movie about it, the Tucker Torpedo. Okay, what we got? Yeah, this is... Oh, gosh. Couldn't quite make it out. I think these cars, they weren't all this souped up, but I think a lot of police stations back in the day had these for police cars. It's a Cornet. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Looks like they got this primed, getting ready to paint it. Here's an El Camino. I mean, yeah. Yeah. 1972 El Camino. That was really sharp. It's a super sport El Camino. And then again, you know, they made different makes and models. And here's a Ford that's got the flat black paint job. With the red interior, 1976 or 65 Ford. And he's got the racing type bucket seats in it. Now I don't know if it's for racing or not, but that's what kind of seat belts he's got. I mean, seats he's got in it. And of course, here's your classic. Yeah. I had a 64 Chevy. It was kind of a chocolate brown color. And I put chrome wheels and all that on it. That's a two-door hardtop. When you roll, all the windows roll completely flat. Well, the two windows roll all the way down. That's why they call it hardtop. Then here's the another Chevy pickup. It's got the custom grill on it, and this is a Mustang, the Ford Mustang. The Ford Mustangs, unfortunately, they went through a bad. The '80s was not good. The mid '80s, they had the energy crisis and all that going on. A lot of cars went to this real boxy shape. They're supposed to be more fuel efficient, economical, but the downside of that was they were ugly. I'm sorry, they were just ugly. Now, thank goodness, a few years later, Ford completely redid the Mustang. But boy, there for a few years, I did not care for those at all. This is another racer. Not much information, no information on this at all. But it's got the fiberglass body on it. And then here's another Chevy pickup. It's a GMC. It's still, you know, General Motors. Yeah. And then here's your 55 Chevys. There's two of them. And you'll notice it's got the I'm trying to think. Okay, airplane hood ornament. My mind went blank for a minute. In the 50s, those were real popular because of space age and all that. A lot of cars had these airplane hood ornaments. They're highly, highly collectible. And if you ever want to replace one of those and buy one, they are hundreds of dollars. I know, I've seen them. I went to a car museum. And they had those for sale in Kansas City. I went to the Kansas car museum, and they sold those hood ornaments like this, like the airplane type ones, and they were, oh gosh, not cheap. And of course, here's another Corvette. Okay, which way am I going now? Okay, oh, we're going to go down the back side. We're going to go on the other side of the fence. So there's other cars. I'm trying to take it row by row. That way I don't get confused where I've been. So I go row by row. Or I try to go row by row. I thought the back side of this racer was kind of different. I'd never quite seen one like that before. And then, of course, here's another Ford Mustang. I'll tell you another little tidbit of information. The man that developed the original Ford Mustang, like you're looking at here, made Ford millions and millions of dollars, and then they fired him. Isn't that crazy? True story. Here's another mid-60s Chevy. And then here's another probably mid-50s Chevy. Looks like it's a work in progress. All these cars are. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time to customize these cars. It can get very expensive. I mean, just mind-boggling expensive. Bodywork is horrendously expensive if you have it done. Now, see, there again, that's got that looks more like a jet hood ornament on it. And a lot of them did back then. And of course, here's your 57 Chevy. And again, it's a work in progress, but there's nothing wrong with that. It takes years sometimes. It's got the baby moons and trim rings on it. It's come a long ways, and they're against two-door hardtop. Needs a lot of work on the inside, door panels and such. But other than that, it's still nice looking. It's a Bel Air, and like I said, it's a four-door. Actually, this is a four-door. But again, all the windows rolled almost completely all the way down, and I just love that chrome. There's just chrome everywhere. And there again, if you want to get parts chromed, I don't know, that probably would not be cheap. So nothing's cheap anymore. Like I said earlier, it's crazy. Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day, I think I had a car very similar to this at one point in time. I did. It's just it's a Buick. But I kid you not, like I said earlier, these cars like this are not gas friendly at all. And here's a Chevy Wrecker. Well, they actually don't look in too bad a shape, but it just depends on what the owner wants to do with it. And of course, that's a Buick. And we have another red and black Corvette. Yep, with black interior. I'm not real crazy about those wheels. Of course, there's the engine. Turbojet engine. 1974, the year I graduated, Corvette Stingray. Yep. And here we have a Ford. A Galaxy Ford. Two-door hardtop. I love those chrome wheels. Those are really, me personally, I really prefer the chrome wheels like this. Yeah. This car coming up is a BMW. The BMW started out as, believe it or not, airplanes, and the folks that owned that. There's a 1967 Super Sport. Uh, they went from airplanes to cars. That's a true story. That's on your emblem for a BMW. It's got blue and white. Well, the white's the propeller, and the blue represents the sky. It's BMW logo or emblem. Okay, well, let's go on. And I'm going back over here again for some reason. Oh, no, I'm not either. Okay. And, of course, this is a Pontiac Trans Am. Those are iconic. I mean, just beautiful cars. Formula Firebird is what it is. Formula 8 Firebird. Yeah. The sun was in the way. I don't think I blocked it out. 1981 Turbo Formula Firebird. Yeah. Super, super cool. And another, this is a Mustang GT 500 Shelby. And here's another one of these boxy Ford Mustangs. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think Ford made a huge mistake when they went to that. And then here's a classic Corvette. Very much so. 1966 from Andover, Kansas. I think that's my favorite year of the Corvettes, the 50s and 60s. I've actually got scale models of these. I've got the one coming up. I've got a scale model on the Corvette coming up. This one right here, I got one just like it in a scale model, die-cast. Yep. These are the iconic. These are just the cream of the crop, in my opinion. 1960 Corvette. To me, these are the true Corvettes. That's just me. But I'm old. Yep. Like I say, I got here at 7. I didn't really get started till 8 o'clock. I left at like 2. That was 6 hours. Not including like breaks and lunch and all that. But I can remember a time when it would take you, oh gosh, 4 or 5 o'clock to look at all the cars. That's just how much it's went down over the years. I'm hoping next year there's a lot more cars show up for the big 5-0. It was a really nice day Saturday. This is Sunday. I'm doing this on the 28th of September. And here's an off-road vehicle. That is really, really sharp. I love that. I've never driven one. I guess they're really fun to drive. Okay, well, we just continue to walk around here a little bit. This is a sharp little car here. I'm not real familiar with this one. Um, of course, there's another Mustang. That is the sound system, believe it or not. All that is for sound. That's all sound in that trunk. That's for your sound system. And you're probably, oh God, I did think probably $5,000-6,000 for that sound system or more. Yeah. And this has a blue light in the engine I've never seen before. This was really it was different. I've just never seen one like this before. It's like a bar that went over the engine that had a blue light in it. I've never seen that before. That was different. And I'm going to show you here. At least I think that's where the blue's coming from. That was really different. Look at that engine. Oh gosh, that thing's huge. There again, I don't know. I'm not much on foreign cars. This is one they revamped. They went from that real boxy look to this, and I think that was wonderful when they did that. Here we got a Roadster coming up. Look at the size of that engine. That's all chrome. I don't know. I'd hate to think. This is the Chevy panel truck. Old cars, news, and okay, yeah. I've seen that before at other car shows. That's a pretty cool old panel truck. Of course, that's a Ford Roadster, hot rod, whatever. And they're again very basic, but not the engine. That is one powerful engine, very nice engine. And all that chrome, man, wow. There was somebody sitting in the truck, so I didn't go up and look at the year. Probably 50s. I know it's 50s. Okay, here you go. We have another Camaro. Black with red interior. I love those wheels. Those are nice. Nice wheels. Okay, there's a red Ford pickup. It's got the bed liner in it. I've always been partial to General Motors or Chevrolet, Pontiac and all that. But Ford did. Back in the day, they did make some real nice pickups. There's a 1968 Ford F100. But then again, Chevy's had nice pickups too back in the day. But Ford was really known for their pickups, again, back in the day. Now here's another Corvette. I just love that interior. That is just so cool. Yep. 1981 Corvette, Clearwater, Kansas. Yeah. Yeah. We have another Super Sport. Look at that engine. Boy, that's nice. Yeah. Chevy Nova. But you know, like I've driven I've driven Fords, Chryslers, about all different kind of cars over the years. And this is a Lamborghini. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Porsche. My bad, it's a Porsche. They kind of look alike. That is a Porsche. I'm sorry, that was stupid. That was a Porsche. Porsche. Now here's another Camaro. Got 1969 Camaro out of Ponca. Well, I love that interior. I can't believe I said Lamborghini. I knew that wasn't a Lamborghini. Any rate. Well, my folks had Impalas when I was growing up. That brings back, but they always bought the 4 doors. They never did buy. Of course, they had a family. But yeah, I grew up with Impalas. Sure did. That's what Mom and Dad's favorite car was, an Impala. In fact, the first car I learned Dad taught me how to drive was a I'm thinking 60 Chevy. That's a 67 Impala. I learned how to drive, I do believe it was a 60. Here's another one of these boxy Mustangs. See if I got the year on it. Some of these didn't have years on them. Probably 80s. That'd be a pretty safe guess, because that's when the energy crisis and all that was going on. I was living in, well, it wasn't either the 80s, but late 70s. I was living in Dallas, Texas in 1970. What was it, either 8 or 9, and they had that energy crisis going on. And you could only get gas by your license plate. Even license plates got to go certain days of the week, and odd numbered license plates go on certain days of the week. I remember those long lines. I do remember that. I sure do. Oh, there's a bright orange. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I couldn't get over there to it. Yeah. If I could have talked as I was filming, that would have been the best thing. But can't do that because of the copyrighted music again. I have been to a few car shows that didn't have any music at all. And that's a rarity, but it does happen. Of course, it's a Chevy 3500 pickup. And it is a 1990. Okay. And we have another Chevrolet, 3600 Chevrolet. I've seen this one before in car shows. around, local, blue and gray. Yeah. And of course, it's a Mercury Cougar. 1967 Mercury Cougar. I never did own a Mercury Cougar. I mean, they were all right, uh, but oh, here's another Chevy pickup. Yeah, I thought, like I said earlier at the very beginning of the video, I just thought it'd be different than the music for a change. It's just so sad that I'm so limited on the music. There's only certain music. It's got to be YouTube approved music, and so that's just what it is. It is what it is. I guess there is a way that if you're a big enough YouTuber, if you've got the million viewers and you're getting all kinds of Patreon and whatever, if you're being paid, in other words, you can actually buy rights and you can play whatever you want. And I think a lot of them do that. Now, of course, I can't do that, but I have fun. It's just something that I like to do for a hobby. But I think I do real good for, for how I do and what I do and all that. The cameras I've got. That I'm using right now, it's a Nicasso action camera. It is a kickoff of the uh, GoPro. But honestly, as far as I can tell, unless it's a brand new one, GoPro, I mean, this has just almost everything a GoPro will do, and it has very good quality 4K pictures. Now, here's the car that I told you about was pulling in. This is the one that's for, look at the size of that engine. This is the one that's for sale. I was going to ask him, but then it said serious inquiries only, so I thought, nah, I won't bother him with it. Yep. Beautiful car, though, just absolutely gorgeous. It's just got the rocket style tail lights on the back end of it. That was really popular in the 50s and 60s. Everything had that motif or that design, the space age and all that, the jets and all that. So that was a thing back then. Yep. You'll see it's got there was no price on it, but it did say for sale. Yep. 1957 Imperial. Isn't that beautiful? That is just beautiful. I just love that. And just wrapped with chrome everywhere. I don't think it had a price on it. I don't know. It says serious inquiries only. So I didn't bother him with it. Okay. Here we go, another Camaro. I love that shifter. That's so cool. This was kind of a burgundy and kind of a off-white or whatever color scheme. Look at that instrument panel. Isn't it beautiful? That's just beautiful. There again, this looks like a Lincoln Zephyr. I mean, I don't know if I looked at the information sheet or not. I can't remember. I might have. Let me see if I can pull it up there. No, there was no information on it. But it does. It's got the same look. I'm pretty sure that's a Lincoln Zephyr. I think that's the second or third one I've seen. And another Ford pickup. And that was for sale. I've seen several cars for sale. I couldn't tell what it was. What the price, if it was even on there or not. There's some bikes. And this very last bike, this blue one's a Harley Davidson. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that big bike. That is so cool. Look at that. Those are nice road bikes. Very nice. I went to a motorcycle museum one time in Marquette, Kansas. Just a little tiny town, but had this, like, 3 rooms of motorcycles. That's crazy. Wasn't that far away. A couple hour drive, maybe, something like that. Another Corvette. Yep, 1964. Ark City, Kansas. Like I said, these are my favorite. The 50s, the 60s, 70s maybe. But yeah, they absolutely my favorite. Another little Chevy pickup. Okay, I think I've been all through there. Let's go on here and venture out here a little bit. I think I've been all the way through here. I try to make it to where I don't get mixed up or confused as where I've been. But yeah, this is the heart of the car show. Oh yeah, looky there, really really nice. I think I'll look at the tag. Yeah, Buick 8. I love those wide wall tires, those great big wide white wall tires. Oh yeah, look at that dash. That's really cool. We got here 1936 Buick. And here's a 50-ish, maybe. Well, that green one over there. This is another Chevy pickup. It's got the air scoop on the hood. Oh, and I just love this van. I've seen this van before. Super, super cool van. I was going to go inside and take a look at it. There were kids in there. I didn't know they were in there. Kind of startled me a little bit. I love that chain link steering wheel. That's really cool. And I just love that paint job. It's just so cool. Look at that. Really nice. It's just Chevy van. It's got the biker on the other side. Looks like they're going through Arizona or something, maybe. Yeah, it sure does. Got here. Oh yeah, 1975 Chevy van. That brings back memories. Well, there's a song back then about a Chevy van, and this is a hearse, a Cadillac hearse. Huge thing. (1968) hearse. Yep, Cadillac hearse. The inside's really rough. And of course, it's got a casket in the back end of it. It's probably just for looks. Let's hope. It's just for looks. I'm sure it is. Just for looks. It's a little rough, but still. But I can't imagine filling that thing up and driving that. I just can't. I'd hate to think what that thing takes for gas. Yeah, there it is. Well, now, okay, I want to point something out to you. There are two Cadillacs that almost look identical. Of course, one's a convertible and one is not. But there's a model difference in these two cars. And I didn't even know it till, I don't know, that's crazy. I didn't even notice it. They got a DeVille model Cadillac, which is what this is. It's a DeVille. And then they have a Coupe DeVille. And I didn't even get the connection. This is crazy, but yeah, this is a DeVille Cadillac. Okay, then this other one over here, I'll show you in just a minute. This one is a Coupe DeVille Cadillac. And I don't know, they're just different models. I just love those wide white wall tires though, and the original hubcaps. When I got looking at it, I just happened to notice one said Coupe DeVille, one just said DeVille. Yeah, see, this says Coupe DeVille on it. That's a 1964 Cadillac. Coupe DeVille, the blue one is. Yeah. See, there's a Coupe DeVille. The other one just says DeVille. I'll show you here in a minute, I think. Then this says DeVille. Honestly, did not ever catch that. Of course, there's your GTO Pontiac. And we've got an old International pickup. I saw the GTO Pontiacs. They're just so cool. I've got some GTO scale model Pontiacs. You know, I sell an International though, especially the older ones. course, here you go. Got a Chevelle. Yeah, Monte Carlo. Another GTO Pontiac. Yeah, with original engine in it. Two-door hardtop, black interior. Got the air conditioner under the dash. I had a lot of cars back in the day that had the air conditioner under the dash. Oh, here you go. Plymouth Roadrunner. Man, that is so cool. I just love that. Big old steering wheels. Yeah, it's 1972. 440. Big engine. Gas guzzler deluxe. Maybe you're out there old enough to remember those big muscle cars that had those big engines in them. And this, okay. Yeah, okay, this needs a lot of work done. This don't even have any headlights. Yeah, this is definitely work in progress. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and that is just pretty, isn't it? Super Sport. It's got the hood clamps on it. And keep the hood from flying up. Oh, here we go. Here's another Bel Air Chevy. Two-door. Yep. 1957. Bel Air Chevy. They had a lot of leg room back in the day. Had a friend of mine in high school that had I think it was a Bel Air Chevy, and he put an Ooga horn on it. Ooga horn, you go Ooga, and we'd drag Maine, and he'd. That was so cool. Yeah. I couldn't really do the front of the car at the time because people were standing there, but I'll just go on around for right now. And of course, this is the Edsel. Well, there's the other side of the Bel Air, and there again, it's got the. They look like airplane hood ornaments. This is the Edsel, the Ford Edsel. Henry Ford's son name was Edsel, and he actually designed the car himself and named it after himself, Edsel. Now, some of the Edsel convertibles, they had a hardtop convertible, and what it would do is you could raise it up and slide it down into the trunk area, then close up the trunk. I've seen those at car shows. This one does not have that, but I've seen them. They weren't canvas or they weren't material. It's regular top on it, but it raised up and folded down into the trunk. Yeah. 1959 Corsair. Edsel. Now, this Ford truck was it looks like a normal Ford truck, but the guy that owned the truck was telling me about it. The inside of the truck had seats and everything like in a Lincoln. It's something that Ford is a Ford Ranger XLT. It's something that Ford was playing with. They literally, the carpet, the seats, that's in 1976, was modeled after what they would put in the Lincoln. And he came over and showed me and opened up the door, and I looked inside and everything. And I thought that's one of a kind. Now, so here he comes. He's going to show me the inside of it, and I'll show you here in a minute. But see, there's the interior, and it's got just like you'd find the steering wheel. Yeah, the seats, the carpet. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. I had no idea. I did not know they did that. I don't know if that was just a one-time deal. It might have been. If they did, then this is really a true collector's item. Anytime you can get a prototype car or one of a kind, those are they're usually very expensive too, but if you person ever get one, they'd be worth a lot of money because they are a collectible. Not only antique, but they're a collectible on top of that. And we got some Mustangs over here. Yeah, that's a 66. I kind of thought mid-60s. Yeah. There's a much newer Corvette Mustang sitting beside it. Shelby. This is a Shelby Mustang. You only sell a Shelby. It's got the snake on the emblem. But they make a Shelby, a Cobra as well. Maybe what? Shelby Cobra. Yep, Shelby GT 500. There you go. Mercury 8, 1948. Another Chevy pickup's got the modified grille. Or the Ponca City Car Club. rat fink there on the engine. It's got that low rider. Those are probably hydraulic lifts. And another Chevy pickup with the big tires on it. It's all jacked up. You can put lift kits in these and make them. You can't go too high though. They've got to go by state regulation. That's the problem of it is if you get the real high vehicles like that, the headlights they're only legal up to a certain height. Anything over that height is illegal because you're shining your headlights in another vehicle, and they got to go by state regulations on that. Now here's another one that's a bit jacked up. Looks like it's a work in progress, but that's okay. And we got a little Ford here. Well, 1962 license plate. Custom cab. Nice interior though, look at that. That's all been redone. That's really, really sharp. I was told one time that by somebody on the police force that it was illegal to display old tags on a vehicle. Well, I don't know because you see it all the time. Someone will take an old license plate and they'll put it on the front end, if there's room for one, on the front part of the vehicle. Now these are Mavericks. Ford Mavericks. I never really cared for these. It's just a matter of opinion. And this is this car coming up here. Here in a minute. I'll have to wait until I get over here. It's a Ford. Looks like to be about a 65 Ford. Or 66 Ford. Yep, 65 Ford XL. Had a lot of room on those old cars. Had a lot of room. They really did. Now, see, that's got that old-timey license plate on the back side of that. I was told that's illegal. Technically, that is illegal, but I don't know. Another El Camino. It has to be a current year and all that on a vehicle. But people do it all the time. I don't know how they get by with it. And here's another Pontiac GTO. I guess I'm going, yeah. Yeah, I had a tag that come off of the vehicle, but it was an older tag, and I was told, nope, can't do that. You cannot display an old, out-of-date license plate. That's illegal. That's what I was told. Now, if they're antique, that's different. You get you an antique tag. They got to be 35 years old or older, and once you buy that tag, you're done. You'll never have to buy another tag. When they're antique, they got, like I said, 35 years or older. You just go down to your local courthouse or whatever and order you an antique tag. Another Pontiac Firebird. Yep, 68. Another Chevy. Probably 57 or 58. Yeah. 57 Chevy Bel Air. Oh, where's a newer Camaro? There was somebody sitting there, and I just went on. I couldn't get up there anyway. Here's another Ford Mustang. Now this truck had dualies on it. Great big huge old truck. Look at that. It's got the dualies on the back end of it. Rough old thing, but I bet it drives good. Pretty rugged old truck, it looks like. Oh, I don't know if I got in there close enough. 65 Ford pickup. Yeah. But it come out as a dually, or they turn it into a dually. I wouldn't want to have to change one of those tires. Because, you know, you got to pull off the, whichever one it is. If it's the inside tire, then that's going to be more work. If it's outside tire, it wouldn't be a problem. Another Chevy flat black pickup. Oh my goodness. Yeah. We've got some chrome going on there. Chrome valve covers, it looks like. Okay, now where am I going? Oh, I guess we'll go back down this way. There's our hot rod. Boy, but look at that engine on that thing. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. You probably buy a fairly nice new car for what that engine costs. The chrome alone would be, oh, don't know, crazy. The great big huge fat tires on it. I know what we paid for our tires on our car last year, and I don't know what, I'd hate to think what those, as big as those are, would cost. Yeah, we got a little Buick Encore, and no lie, and I checked around. I called different places like in Wichita and all over to do some comparison pricing, and most of them went from like around $150 to over $200 a tire. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, Malibu V8. Chevelle Super Sport. Okay, that Mustang's got the big tires on the back end of it. I don't know what all this is. I don't know. This had looked like batteries on either side, but what this has hardwood on it. Hardwood. I don't have any idea. I don't know what that is. It might have something to do with racing. I'm not sure. It does have the, yeah, this is a racer. So that probably has something to do with racing. I'm just not real sure what. And those gauges back there, or not gauges, but switches and such. I don't know what that was for either. Just don't know. Never seen that before. But this is definitely a dragster or a racer of some sort. See these switches, or not switches, but I don't know. Hardwood. I don't have no idea. Well, look at that engine, though. My goodness. Mm-hmm. Another Corvette. Here's a. Oh, we just looked at that one. Another Corvette. And of course, a Chevy El Camino. It's got the custom taillights on it. Look at the size of that trunk. Look at the size of that trunk. It's huge. These modern cars nowadays, the trunks, oh, probably about half that size at best. And there again, that's not the original engine. They've dropped in a better, bigger, maybe newer engine. And this is all customized. The grill, the headlights, everything on this has been customized. Somebody put a lot of work, and a lot of time and money on this particular vehicle. So I mean, it's all decked out. That's a true show car. We have a bright red pickup. Yeah. 1941. Ford pickup. I love that interior. It's really nice. It's all been customized, of course. Oh, yeah, really nice bed on that. Here you go. Yep, that's a Ford. These old radiator caps actually had a little, like a thermometer in them. And that's how you gauged how hot the engine was. Yeah, Ford Coupe, 1930. Yeah. That's a Mach 1 Mustang. There you go. That car's name is Betty, with the primer on it. Camaro. That looks like it might be the original engine. 1968 Plymouth GTX. And here you go, the classic T-Bird, the Ford Thunderbird Classic. Very, very, very classic. It's kind of a light red, almost a pink color. I don't know, this camera doesn't pick some colors. It doesn't pick up the exact color that it really was. But yeah, that is a 1956 Ford. As old as I am, I'm a classic too, I guess. I'm definitely an antique. I'm older than 35. I wish I was still 35. I'd love to be 35 again. But that was for sale. Another GTO Pontiac. No, I look at a lot of trade magazines where people that buy, sell, and trade these old classics, and you would not believe the price of some of these cars. They are I've seen them go up to 100,000. It just depends on the make, the model, the year. You know, that's 1967 Pontiac GTO, especially if they're not only antique, but they're like discontinued, no longer made, whatever. That all adds to the price. One of a kind or whatever, you know, like we was talking about earlier. Okay. I think I'm getting ready to head up to the ag building. I think I'm getting ready to have me lunch, I think. I've already been all down through all here. I think I'm just working my way back up to take a little lunch break. Yeah, I've already profiled all these. But after lunch, I'll go back and finish it up. 1948 panel truck. Well, now wait a minute. What? Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, isn't that beautiful on the inside? This is a 1958 Fairlane 500. That's got a pretty good sized trunk in it too. Club Victoria. Ford made a Victoria, and they were really a cool car. I've got a scale model of one. They had the removable tops on them, the clear removable tops on them, and a lot of them were two-door hardtops. But the Victoria was the top of the line for that year. You know, back in the day, cars had like the bare bones all right up to the most expensive, like the Chevys, for example. You had the Biscayne, and then you had the Bel Air, and then you had the Impala, and then you had the Caprice, and then you had the Super Sport, like Caprices and Impalas. But the Caprice was the very top model, and the Biscayne was the bottom of the lineup. The Biscaynes didn't have any chrome. Very, 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 very basic. Then you got to the Caprice that had all the bells, whistles, and all chrome for that time, you know. And then, of course, you had your Super Sport versions as well. I actually had a Biscayne. I had a Bel Air. I had an Impala back in the day. They weren't super sports by any means. Yeah, I think I had a 1964 Chevy Impala. I think it was a four-door. It was kind of a light brown color. I put chrome wheels on it. It was sharp. I mean, it wasn't like these, but it was all right. I tried to fix up what I could. But the Biscayne I bought from a good friend of mine, and it had a newly rebuilt engine in it. And I mean, other than being bare to the bones, it was a nice car, real nice car. Yep. There's another classic Chevy. Two-door hardtop. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Yep, Chevy Bel Air. Well, that's got a big engine in it. With a big blower on it. What we got here? Oh, yeah, 32 Ford. Okay. Of course, that's a chopped version. There's no wheel wells. There's no hood or anything like that on it. Like a hot rod, the old hot rods. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Super Sport. Now the Camaro. Yeah, 1970 Camaro. Those years I identify with the 70s. Here's a Z28 Camaro. You tell this has been, the hood's been replaced on it. He's got the scooper hood on it. Yeah, Z28. I think the Z28 Camaros were supposed to be a little bit more sportier than just the regular Camaro, if I'm not mistaken. That's from Sedgwick County. There you go. Here's another Roadster, a hot rod. And there again, did I already see this? I may have already seen this one. Oh gosh, look at that engine. Gosh. Ooh. And there again, that's the Ford. I think I've already seen that one. Not sure. Yep. Yeah, I think I went to lunch around 11 o'clock or something like that. There we go, Cutlass Supreme. I had one of those in the early 80s, I think. I had one. I think mine was a bright yellow, though. It looked just like that, though. I had it. I loved that car. I wish I would have kept some one of these. Just one I wish I would have kept. But yeah, I had a Cutlass Supreme. That's got the 91 Firebird. Yep. I think I'm getting ready to, like I said, I think I'm getting ready to go have some lunch here. We're getting pretty close to this portion. This is a 1967 Chevelle. They really made them back in the day. These cars wouldn't hold a candle. These cars were made to built to last. These cars they make nowadays, you're lucky if they last 4 or 5 years. But they made them back in the day, I'm telling you. I like the way they've got the inside of that done. Looks like newspapers lining the dash there. And this is somebody playing the guitar. See that stick figure with the guitar for a hood ornament? I've seen all kind of hood ornaments. I mean, hundreds of different kinds of hood ornaments. Handmade, homemade, handmade, whatever, all different kinds. I mean, there's thousands of different kinds of hood ornaments. Yeah. That Chevy pickup's kind of different as far as the motor engine compartment goes. And there's that green Chevy pickup again. Yeah, 54. Yeah. I should have asked one of them how they got by having a original license plate on these vehicles. Somebody took no tire, but they got a tire rim on the side of the truck there. Just needs a tire on it. I don't know. But a lot of people like that patina look, that rusty look, and that's fine. That's fine. I think it's kind of cool. They have a lot of your hot rods or older vehicles like that will have that patina or that rusty look, and that's okay. Here you go. Now I had a car almost just exactly like this at one time. That wasn't this modified though, but I did. I had one almost very similar to this back in the day. I had a whole ton of cars. This is Electra 225. I had one pretty similar to this one, but that was 40 years ago, a long time ago. I mean, I was always trading cars, always buying something different. That's a sharp looking. That is nice looking though. The Buick Electra 225. That was probably the upper scale models of the Buicks. Well, another Corvette. A lot of these prints so small. I don't know. Very, very small print. Obviously, it's a newer year Corvette. I guess these brand new Corvettes like this current year, like 2025, I seen somewhere in a magazine, you're looking at over $200,000 for a 2025 Corvette. I can't even imagine that. You could buy a real nice house for that. But here's a Malibu Super Sport. 200. I think the one I saw was $225,000. That's insane. Yep. There's a bright blue GTO. Seemed like they had a lot of Firebirds and Corvettes this year. Now there's your classic Corvette. GTO Pony. I like that shade of blue. Well, I think I'm getting about the end of this segment. So I'll be going off here for a little bit. But, when I get it all edited and put together. But yeah, this is like the first half. Then I had lunch and I do the second half. But it'll be all one when I get done with the editing. 1968 Firebird, yeah. Yeah, those old Corvettes are just too cool. Yeah, we're just about done with this segment, this petition, this half of the video. (2009) I think I've seen it before. The 2009 Ford Mustang with they're doing the some kind of a benefit or charity. Yeah, all kind of outlined in pink. Oh, look! I saw this. This pickup is just too cool. See the back end of it? Isn't that cool? I just love that. Huh. Okay, well, we're getting pretty close to the end of this part of the video. Grand Prix. That looks like it's the original engine. Yep, another El Camino. This butterscotch colored Chevy's kind of cool. And there again, it's a El Camino. Now that's a definitely souped up engine. It's a lowrider. Yeah. I like what they've done on the inside though. That's really cool. I like that. It's kind of like a maze when you get down in this area. It's kind of hard to keep track of where you've been. I try to keep track though. I like that red interior. That's really cool. $1962, yeah. Now that, come to think of it, that car's got the pink, although I think that might be for cancer awareness. I'll get right in a minute. There's an old Jeep. Yeah, we are just about the end of this portion before I go on a little lunch break. And that's a Willys 1951 license plate. Yeah, that's another Mustang Shelby. Hertz Shelby GTH 2016. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and be signing off here just real quick. And the next thing you'll see will be the where I'm having lunch. And it's going to be coming up just real quick. So, okay, well, I think just about done with this portion. It's an MG, I knew it was, though. $1948. 10,000 of them were produced. Okay, well, yeah, we're just about into this part of the video. Next thing you see will be me doing letting you see what I got for lunch. 1929. I like those bucket seats. That's really cool. It's got that nice engine in it. That's actually a bit bigger than some of them. Okay. I like that steering wheel. It's pretty cool. That's evidently the gas tank. I guess. I'm not sure what it is. Just guessing. Mm-hmm. $1927. There again, there's your temperature gauge, your little bulb thing there. Really nice upholstery. Look, got a 4-cylinder in it. There's a Chevy convertible. Original engine too. Mm-hmm. A nice trunk. Chevy Deluxe. $1949. I'll say it looked like early 50s. Bright blue Mustang. Nice engine. Newer engine. Okay. I'm headed up there to have some lunch, I think.
Okay, it's very noisy in here, but I'm going to try to talk over everything. I thought I would take a break and have some lunch and show you what I'm having for lunch today. I decided on the brisket and some baked beans, and I got a drink and some chips. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. Not a very big sandwich. If I get that down there, we can see it. Maybe better just to show it to you like this. Here's the brisket sandwich, and then I got the chips and a drink, iced tea and some chips here, and some baked beans, and that's what I'm having for lunch today. It's about 11:15 a.m. I'm in the Ag building, and decided to take a break here for a little bit. Been taking pictures and videos since like 7:30 this morning, so I decided it was time to take a break for a little bit. But I'm gonna go back out. I got some more areas I've not been to yet. It's a typical last run. It's very, very busy. I'm gonna try to talk over everything. It don't look too bad. It's what I've had out here before, but that's what we're dealing with here this morning. I don't really have anything on it. That's okay. All right, that's pretty good. Pretty good sandwich. And got the baked beans here. No, I don't think they're baked beans, but Those aren't baked beans, they're just pork and beans. They're not pork and beans. I mean, they're just regular beans. But anyway, it's alright for now. This meal was like $11 for the combo. I think that's what I had last year. But I probably won't be here very long. Playing very loud copyrighted music as always. Can't get away from that. That's why most of my videos will be muted, and I'll do a voiceover later on because I just can't do the music. But anyway, I thought I'd just show you what I was having this morning. It's not bad. It's a good barbecue sandwich as far as that goes. Yeah, that's not bad. It's getting kind of warm out there. It's not real bad yet. I think it's supposed to get to the probably upper 70s, lower 80s, middle 80s, I don't know, somewhere around there today. But other than that, it's been just a really nice day today for the last run. If I didn't mention it earlier in my intro, this is my 990, this will be my 900th, I believe, and 98th video. 2 more videos out of 1,000 videos, and I've got 703 subscribers so far in the time I've been doing this. So I'm getting there. It takes a while. But at any rate, I do appreciate all you that have subscribed and like to watch our videos. I'll be going to some festivals. I'll be going to the Arkalala at the end of a week from today. And then I got the Rose Hill, Hayesville, and Udall Fall Festivals to go to in October. So, at any rate, yeah, that's what I'm doing, just having some lunch. And like I said, it's not a bad sandwich. But alright, well I think I'll go for now. When I get this done, I'll start videoing again. Just after lunch, we'll get started again. And I got a whole ton of pictures to take. It ought to be a pretty good video. I'll have some editing to do, you know, and all that a bit later on. But it should turn out alright. So I'm going to let you go for now, but I'll be back later on. So just hang on, and I'll be back in just a moment. I just thought I'd show you what I was having for lunch. So we'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, this is the last portion of the last run car show today. I've had lunch. Now we're going to kind of walk around here and go on this side over here and look around a little bit. And yeah, it's just not like it used to be as far as size goes. It's not nearly as big as it used to be. I'll show you here in a minute towards the end of the video, this segment here, how empty this other space is. And it used to be lined full of cars. It's just not that way anymore. There's a old Volkswagen with some modified headlights, and yeah, I think I saw this last year. Of course, they got the motor in the back. We got another older Chevy pickup. Looks like it's been spray painted. You can buy automotive spray paint now in a can, but it's not cheap, and you still got to know what you're doing to do it right. And we have another coupe here. Bright red coupe. And another Ford Mustang. Boy, there's been a whole ton of Mustangs and pickups, and that guy's asleep for some reason. I'm not sure what that little car is. Don't know. Of course, here's an older Chevy pickup. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. And here's a Studebaker. Well, whenever I get over there, I'll show you. This is Studebaker's coming up. This is Studebaker. Yeah. I'm not sure of the year, but it is a Studebaker, and older. Probably late 40s, early 50s. And they got the old meal tray like you get a Sonic back in the day when they did that sort of thing. And it's got the suicide doors on it, and yeah, it's not too bad. Needs a little bit of work done on the inside. Big 4-door pickup, a Dodge pickup. Got that patina look. It's got nice seat covers. I had seat covers like that once in a car. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Yeah, of course, this is a big F-350 crew cab dually. Oh gosh, these things are huge pickup. It's a Lariat, which means it's the XL Lariat, which means it's got all the bells and whistles on it. But these big trucks like this, they, like I said, talking earlier about the gas mileage, it's got a hitch on the back, so they more likely pull a fifth wheel of some sort. And of course, here's a Scout, or these are really, really popular. Wagoneer is what I'm trying to say. Of course, this is a racing Mustang. I guess they use it for racing, but kind of that's what it looks like, maybe. With the tires and wheels on and everything. Yeah. Yeah, that's a Jeep Wagoneer, was what I was trying to say. And then we got yet another Corvette. It looks like it's got the original Corvette engine in it. Yeah, it sure does. Yeah. And a silver Corvette. And here's an old pickup. They turned it into like a rat rod. Kind of a vehicle, I guess. I've seen this. This has been in other car shows. Kind of got that army. It's almost like an OD green color to it. Here's another classic old Chevy pickup. And this field out here, it's not too bad, but I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it even more full than this in the past years. There's kind of an orange Mustang. Another hot rod here. So, and an older Chevy, of course. It's a probably late 50s, early 60s. Two-door. An older Ford pickup. Yep. 1949. Yep. But But the inside looks real nice. Yeah. A lot of times they'll do little bits of time, like they'll do the interiors first and then they'll do the body. Or, I think, it just depends on how they want to do it. There's another Dodge pickup, little crew or club cab. This is a modified, um, oh gosh, probably a Chevy. Modified. It's got a little bit of, it's got a nice engine in it. Real nice. It's not the original engine, of course. Yeah. And yet an original Ford Mustang. Another Dodge pickup. Dodge Ram. This is Cadillac, believe it or not. I do not like the way they did this. I do not like it at all. They've just, in my opinion, it is sporty looking and all, but I just don't care for it. It's got the wing type doors on it. Here, a little Chevy S10. I had a little Chevy S10 once, many, 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 many years ago. Early 90s. Yeah, I can remember once it's just bumper to bumper, just side by side, just all up and down this area. Just crazy, but it's really thinned out over the years. Another old Chevy pickup. It's got that patina look to it, and of course a Ford. Older Ford pickup. And it used to wrap all the way around, all the way down that side street. I mean, there's cars parked everywhere. It was just crazy. Crazy amount of cars. I wish it was like that now, but unfortunately it's not. It's really dwindled. It seems like the last 4 or 5 years. And good old Trump. Yeah. That goes without saying. Yep. Yeah, I think that black Chevy is I think that's an Impala 2-door hardtop. Yeah, we've already been seen all this. Boy, I don't know. You can look back on my older videos I've done in the past years. You can see the difference. If you'll just scroll down a little ways, you'll see a huge, huge, huge difference in the amount of cars. If you go back, I'd say at least 5 years, 5 or 6 years, and just you can just see the difference of the amount of cars as opposed to now. And of course, that's a original license plate, 1932. I didn't get too close, or somebody's sitting there. It's got an all chromed out engine. It's pretty cool. And that's pretty much on that side. I can remember when you could take, oh gosh, 45 minutes to an hour just in that one section. Yeah, I don't know. There's some of Arc City's finest sitting there, enjoying the festivities. I think up to this point, I think I've pretty well seen it all. I'm actually going to work my way back down to around on the side of the pool. I'll show you. There's, I think, 3 cars sitting over there, and there was a time when that would have been completely full. I'll show you in a minute when I get down there. And it used to wrap all the way around the pool. It has done that now for a few years. I think the last, what I would call the good years of the last run would have been probably 2020, maybe somewhere along in there, 2021. It's just been downhill since about then. So I know I've been to a lot of these last runs. But it just is what it is. Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe next year, with it being the 50th, maybe there'll be more cars. Customized Chevy. Yeah. And I'm not sure. This is evidently a racing car. I'm just not sure what the make and model of this one is. Okay, I should. 72 Ford 350. It didn't even look like a Ford. Yeah. I like this. I like that color scheme. That is really nice. And then, of course, we have, this has been here, this 1938 Chevy. Yeah, I think it's here every year. Really super nice interior. It's all been redone on the inside. New seats, not all that. New dash. And then we have this. It's here, I think, all the time too. Yeah. And I really like this old. I just love the color, the pinstriping, everything is really classy. Really, really nice. And there's your thermometer gauge. Yep, 1927 Ford. Yep, out of Burden. And this car is a real good friend of mine I went to high school with. I watched him get pinstriping done on the vehicle. A Dodge Ram. And a bright yellow Ford pickup. Well, that's canary yellow. I mean, that's a bright yellow. I like the baby moons and trim rings. Yeah. Got a few motorcycles. I like the big ones. I mean, I've never owned a motorcycle. I don't know how to ride one, drive one, but I do think they're really cool, especially the older, like the Harley Davidsons and that sort of thing. I think those are so cool. Those big, heavy road bikes. Look at the engine on that. Wow, it's got that big blower. Yeah. As you can tell, but I can remember looking down this road here. It was like a sea. It was like an ocean of people. And it's just not. I don't know. It's just not the same. There's an old Army Jeep. I drove Army Jeeps just like this one, or very, very, very similar. It did not have the gun mount on it, but other than that, it was basically the same kind of Jeep. I drove those all over, oh gosh, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Kansas. Yeah, I drove a lot of those Jeeps, just like this one. like I said, are very similar. And of course, I drove the big rigs, the 4.5 or the 5.5 ton, the 5 tons, the 2.5 ton. They're like a semi. The 5 tons are. Of course, I had to go to school. Had to get trained on them. I had to get the proper license, military license. There's a flat black Chevy truck. Yeah. Well, when I was in Texas, I belonged to a transportation company, and I drove the 5-ton trucks. These are the big rigs. I drove one from Dallas, Texas to Fort Polk, Louisiana one summer, and that's where I went to basic training at. It was so fun driving on those convoys. People would go by and honk and wave, and it was hot, extremely hot, and sit right beside that those big, huge exhaust pipes. Yeah. I can remember pulling along this off of the highway to an old dirt road somewhere to get refueled, and oh boy, it was just miserable as far as weather conditions go. It was really hot. And then like I said, you had the heat off the exhaust pipes coming at you. Of course, this is the pool, Paris Park pool. I like that color. That's a really cool color. A couple of Chevy trucks, 2 or 3. Then a GMC. And another Chevy truck, newer. That's the big 4-door dually truck. And yet another GMC. Ford Mustang. Yep. 2021 Mustang GT. I'm sorry, I was trying to get on that label and, where I could read it. And another Corvette. Yeah, almost like repetition. Here's another. This is a Mustang GT. Look at the size of that engine. Boy, powerful engines. And yet another Corvette. This is a big Suburban, Chevy Suburban. Those are nice to have, but boy, they're not easy on gas. And there's a little Chevy S10. Now, the part I'm getting ready to go to right now, this was just crammed full of cars. And I'm going to show you something here in a minute, what I'm talking about. This whole road, it was just lined just side by side. Just several years ago. And it's got the big engine in it. Yeah. Here we go. Now, here in just a minute, I'll show you when I get up here. Got some tents. Somebody must have been camping out. Okay. There might be 3 cars, and I can remember right from this kind of butterscotch colored car. It went, I'll show you here. It was just side by side by side by side by side on both sides of this area here for parking for the pool. And as you can tell, it's totally empty. See where the blue tanks are down there? I mean, it just went all the way down on both sides. Look at that. That's pathetic. That is really pathetic. Well, guys, the video's about over with. Thanks for coming along. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And go out and enjoy your world. Be safe. Have fun. And thank you for tagging along with me today. This is just about done. We'll see you next time.